how to achieve excellence in the workplace. If you want to move up in your company or you want to start your own company, it's necessary that you are excellent. You will do it much quicker than others if you display excellence, and with this video, I hope to show you that. As someone who's gotten Employee of the Month within 2 months and then has also scored a pretty good mentor that has helped me throughout my coaching journey and starting my own business, I feel like I have some credentials to talk about how to demonstrate excellence in the workplace for you. So by the end of this video, you'll understand 3 very key ways to demonstrate that excellence. The first talks about what actions you can do to demonstrate that excellence. The second is what are some tactics you can use to helpfully move through this and demonstrate that excellence quicker. And then the third is another thing that you can do and is arguably the most important. With that being said, let's jump right into it. The first being do your best even when you don't want to. What I mean by this is that go and exceed the expectations of your role. If your role says you're responsible for these projects and these actions, what can you do to do more? And a lot of people are like, Chris, why would we do that? Because I'm going to get taken advantage of by the company. Maybe you do, but that's okay because I still believe you'll win. The reason being because if you do more than your role expects, number one, someone will notice it eventually. Maybe it's not the company you're currently at, but if you use that and live that, I do more than I am expected to, eventually someone will notice and you will get promoted, I promise you. Or if you start your own business, customers will notice. Number two, the reason I think you'll win is because you'll get experience that you otherwise would not have had, which in the end is a net win because it'll make you better at your job. So I think doing more than your role expectations can be really helpful, despite what other people may say about that. On top of that, do your best. You focus on the quality and quantity of your work. I don't mean that you should work 16 hours unless you want to. What I mean is that with the quantity piece, think about, okay, I work 8 hours, I work 6 hours, I work 10 hours a day. How can I improve my action per minute in the time that I work? How can I increase my output in the time that I work? Focus on that. And then on top of that, focus on the quality of your work. Focus on making your work as close to perfection as possible while realizing perfection is not the goal. Improving the quality of your work is the goal. So do your best even when you don't want to. I have a little story about this is that I work at Costco still as my main job, as my day job while I'm building this coaching business. And with this is that at Costco, I am a cashier and I walk around and I see trash and boxes everywhere. And it'd be really easy for me to just leave it. I could just walk by and leave it, and that's not necessarily my expectation. It's the stocker's expectation to grab the boxes, and you can argue it's maintenance's to grab the trash. But instead of that, when I see that stuff, I stop and I grab it because I know the store will look better as a result. And it got recognized. That's how I got the Employee of the Month 2 months into working at Costco when I was still in my probationary period, which for reference, that never happens there. So I feel like I demonstrated that excellence. I did my best even when I didn't want to, and I got rewarded for it. The second way to achieve excellence, and like I said, this can kind of speed up and expedite achieving this excellence for yourself and moving up, being creating great relationships. With these great relationships, you need to communicate, clearly and respectfully. So often, people do not communicate clearly. They're passive-aggressive, they're passive, or they are straight-up aggressive. Instead, you need to be direct and communicate with assertiveness, with respect to who you are talking to. When you do this, it'll start to create that culture of that clear communication. You need to call out the things that need to be called out, but in a very respectful way. Now, the second piece to creating great relationships is to care about those around you. The easiest way to do this is if you know someone's traveling or had an event in their life, or you know something's important to them. Ask them about it because people love talking about themselves. And when you can get people talking about themselves, they'll enjoy talking to you and they will enjoy you. And the easiest way to do this is to truly care about people. One tool you can use is how to influence and influence people. Now, there's so many tactics in this, which is the best book I've ever read. And the only way to really make them work is to really care about people. But give that book a read, and this can be helpful to create meaningful relationships in your work environment. Now, the third piece to creating great relationships is to ask for feedback and improvement. And you can ask from people above you or people below you. And that's what's cool about this. Because you could ask for the people above you, you could say, hey, do you have 15 minutes to talk to your manager, to your boss, whoever? They say, yeah, what's up? And you go to them, hey, I'm looking to provide more value to the company. What else can I do? What do I need to improve on, and what feedback do you have for me? I promise you they're going to love talking to you about that because it's going to contribute to their bottom line. Now, the other piece is, how do you ask for feedback from people below you or even your coworkers? The way you do this is that you say, hey, if you knew I wouldn't get mad with what you're going to tell me and I asked for feedback on this, what would you tell me? Say, hey, I'm looking for feedback on this. What would you tell me if you knew I wasn't going to get mad? This will work. Now, personally, I have not done this because I haven't had people work below me, but from my mentors and people who are much further on in their business journey, they have said that this is the way to do it. So the third piece to demonstrate that excellence and what you can do is to lead by example. In your communication, as we talked about earlier, how can you lead by example? Because I promise that it is contagious, and it is contagious on the negativity aspect of things, or it's contagious in terms of excellence. So how can you spread and lead by example in terms of your communication? How can you spread and lead by example in terms of your work ethic? As we talked about earlier, improving your work and doing your best, how can you show that and model that to lead by example so others feel motivated? And that second piece of leading example is, how can you motivate, inspire, and encourage others? What traits do you have in your personality that you can lean into to help others reach their potential, to help others reach their best? And I will tell you is that positive reinforcement is going to be the first key to that. So if you're a leader within a company, or even if you're not a leader, how can you give positive reinforcement to those around you or those below you? That's how to achieve excellence in the workplace. Again, as I said, as someone who has achieved excellence in terms of Costco, and I believe in my own business, but also has been surrounded by leaders who have achieved excellence in their lives and their companies, I truly believe this is the way to do it. If you enjoyed this, I'd encourage you to take the balance wheel in the description below, because sometimes achieving excellence requires achieving excellence in other areas of your life. And this will help you identify that. On top of that, if you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.